Okay, so let's start from question number one. So basically, we have too many questions. Today we just started, and but next day, tomorrow, we have a lot of questions, and we don't have time to, So I just give you 15 seconds or 10 seconds if you are comfortable to answer it. That's okay, or otherwise I'm going to explain it. So just like this question is all about CAF, Cloud Adoption Framework. So it's asking about perspective, which focuses on organizing inventory of data production. This is organizing inventory. So what is CAF is? So there's something let me show you. If you find here AWS CAF Cloud Adoption Framework. So there's no trick in this answer. What you have to do is you can find it, you can learn these things, and there's some business perspective, people perspective, governance perspective, platform security. This is not a technical, but for knowledge perspective, you just learn this one, and you know what cloud adoption framework they are talking about. Basically, they are focusing. This is organizing. You have to learn these things. Organizing an inventory of data product in data catalog. You have to think about it comes in the operational, it comes in the governance, or it comes in the business, or it comes in the platform. Okay, so once you read on the web, so and then if you understand it, then you will easily able to. So you will get around 5 or 6 questions in cloud adoption framework. Okay, so here they are saying perspective we are looking for is governance. This is the governance is the right one. Why? Because this perspective it's explaining the process, roles, policies necessary to align or strategy with business goals. So data governance, it says organizing inventory of data. Inventory of data comes in the governance. Okay, so it's a key component of this perspective. So deals with the management of availability, usability, and security of data within the uh, enterprise. This includes the creation of maintenance of a data catalog to organize an inventory data product data catalog. If you are wondering what is it, it's act as an inventory of an organization data asset. It helps that data customers discover and understand uh, uh, the valuable. Okay, yeah, B is the correct one. Yes, Mark. So if that's the diagram you can find in the AWS website, or that's the main important one. This thing we have to memorize it. Just like in governance, if you notice, these are risk management. This one is a data governance. Okay, so sometime they will ask you, they are talking about data monetization, and they say, okay, what perspective is it? We have to remember, okay, that's talking about business. Whenever they're talking about like data sciences, whenever they talk about uh, product management, then just this diagram, you can say, okay, that's they are talking about business perspective. I know this thing, you know from technical perspective, it's not. I know but in exam perspective, you will get some questions regarding this. Okay, uh, cloud adoption framework. So you have to memorize this thing. What is it? Or whenever they okay, when we move towards in different slides, they will ask you this type of question whenever they talk about data engineering or data architecture, or they comes in the platform. Whenever, just like this one is easy security. Why? Because whenever they are talking about like threat detection, they are talking about data protection. But in this question, they are talking about data inventory. So now data inventory comes here, data governance. Whenever they talk about like data security or data protection, protection means security. Definitely, it comes in the security. Incident response comes in the security. Okay, whenever they talk about, you will get lot of questions. There's a one trick. If you don't know anything, suppose, okay, so most of the question, the answer is in comes in the operation section. Okay, so if you get like 5 questions, I think 3 questions you will get from the operation side. So it's my experience. But uh, a lot of questions. Okay, so you will see. Okay, so second question is company run its production workload in AWS Cloud Company need to choose one of the support plans. So which of the support plan will meet this requirement and the lowest cost? They are running what production workload? Now let's look to understand these. So guys, a company, what do you think? Okay, so if you see, we have our developer, we have some plans. One is basic plan, which is free. Whenever you redeem your credit card or whenever you use free services in AWS, they will give you some, normally they will give you basic plan. And basic plan means is free. Okay. And second is developer plan, then enterprise on, the second is business, and then enterprise on RAM, and last one is enterprise. Uh, okay. So okay, yeah, Christian, you're right. Is a D, is a business one. Why? Because production workload in AWS, the company need to choose AWS support plan. Okay, and this one is free, is for developer. So just eliminate this one. Enterprise is good, but this one is expensive, and this one is most expensive, enterprise. And this is for a huge company, but they are saying that's production workload and choose AWS support plan, which is the lowest one, and this one is the lowest choice, business one. That's correct. So next question is, uh, what is the primary use case of Amazon Guard Duty? So Guard Duty, uh, use case of, in some countries, you have, easy thing is, so you have apartments. In some countries, apartments is like a big complex where you either rent or buy a flat, uh, for living purpose, so where you can live, and there's so big a apartment complex using will have some security. I mean, this is something, they have a gate and you will use some pass to enter it. To pass, that's nobody, but in some countries, like will be a security guard sitting here outside the gate, and they will ask you your identity, and they check everything what's going on in the apartment in the night time or in the daytime as well. So this guard duty doing the same thing in AWS. Okay, so whenever this does the security things in AWS, they monitor the AWS, like there's any malicious activities happening on AWS environment or such unauthorized behavior, etc. Okay, so Duty is a threat detection service that continuously monitor your AWS account, and they continuously monitor uh, malicious activity, unauthorized behavior. Guard Duty is something like machine learning anomaly detection. Okay, so what do you think is prevent DDoS attacks, protection against SQL injection, automatic monitoring threat to AWS workload, automatic provision.
See,
Yeah, correct. See, whenever you see monitoring threats, so then C is the right one. And you will get same questions like this in exam. So, okay. And question number, this one, which VPC components can be company used to set up a virtual firewall at the Amazon EC2? So we have, as I already mentioned, we have four type of firewall in AWS. One is on top, which is called a VPC. VPC, we have a network firewall. Inside, we have a subnets. Subnet, we have a NACL, network ACLs, which is called. Okay. So the second firewall. Third firewall we have on instance level, like EC2 level, which is security group. Fourth is WAF, Web Application Firewall, which is available inside the EC2. Inside the EC2, with the help of load balancer, we manage a web application firewall for applications. Suppose you are running a web server. So definitely you are not running a web server on VPC. Definitely you are running web server on EC2 on some server. So server is a EC2, and EC2 for firewall on application level, we use WAF, Web Application Firewall. Okay, so this part comes in the security, and they are talking about virtual firewall at instance level. So what do you think? Okay, so Network firewall, whenever talking about like VPC level, this is a network firewall. Whenever they say subnet level, NACL, they are talking about EC2 level. EC2 level is a security group. Okay. Yeah, correct. B is a correct one. So is a security level. Whenever it says at the application level means WAF. Amazon EC2 level security group. Whenever this says or network level or subnet level, NACL. It says on VPC level, then network firewall. Okay, so we have four type of firewall in AWS. Okay, so a developer need to interact with AWS by using AWS CLI. And you know what is AWS CLI is? If you go on command prompt when you log in AWS login, so this is a command prompt. Command prompt come up. So and then with security features or AWS services must be provisioned in the developer account to meet this requirement. Username and password. As we know, like username and password, we don't use it, username and password in AWS CLI. So username and password, we use it in console, just like when you go in the portal, AWS portal.com, something like this, and you know the ID, username, just like a mark at the data of quickstart.com and password. So, but they are talking about AWS CLI. So eliminate this one. So, okay, and root password access you can also eliminate because root credential for regular task. Security, that basically we don't use root passwords for security. It's recommended to create a IAM user first. Suppose uh, I have a root user which company gave me, suppose AWS at quickstart.com. It's a main account and I am the administrator. And I have two administrators as well, just like a Mark and Christian. So in AWS, in all cloud, we are recommended just go in IAM, just create a users with the name of Mark, with the name of Yaya, with the name of Christian, and then provide the access. So that's the best practice. So root password access is wrong. This one also wrong. System manager, we know system manager basically you can manage everything from system manager. So AWS access keys. Okay. So you can, if you want to use AWS CLI, then AWS. If you don't know the answer, just think about the username and password. We can use console access as well, username. That's wrong. And this one is also wrong because root password is not, you know, uh, like right good practice in AWS in any cloud. And this one is remaining. Okay. So, okay. So a company need to use Amazon S3 to store audio files, and they are each 5 megabyte in size. The company will be rarely access the file, but the company must be able to retrieve the files immediately. Okay, so that's the knowledgeable question. Anyone? So we already learned this one. I know, but we forget it definitely. But this is very important one. So when we move towards any cloud, so this is very important. So basically, this is for we are using some services for storing um, in S3 just like a 5 megabyte in size. And but the issue is but the company must be able to retrieve the files immediately. We need the files immediately. C, glacier flexible retrieval. Okay, so this one standard infrequent access. Okay, okay. So I have one thing for you. So then you can understand this one. So S3, it is designed for frequent access data. Okay, like they store data, like on Netflix, we store a lot of things, and it is really is a very high SLA. It's very, and availability 99.9%. Okay, and S3 lifecycle management automatically. We have some classes, and why we have a classes? Because for cost, uh, we can reduce the cost. and we have high availability zone, because if you copy something on S3, they are automatically copying three zones. Okay, we have one is IA, second is zone IA, glacier. Okay, and what is the difference between here? If I talk about infrequent access and this one is same. The only thing is ideal for infrequent access data. Okay, so higher retrieval price. Okay, but in question they are not talking about like, okay, so this is most cost effective. Okay, they're talking about most. So, okay, data transcript encryption has, okay. So S3 standard, okay, it means it's an expensive one, and we are talking about this one. An ideal for infrequent access data, Amazon lower storage price and high retrieval price. Okay, and a standard I store in minimum three availability zone. Okay, and now one zone store into data, minimum three zones. Okay, user save cost on the storage. Okay, and works well to achieve data will require immediate access. Okay, and can retrieve object with a few milliseconds. Okay, that's the right one. So your answer is, Christian, you said C. Okay, so you said C and Glacier instance. Glacier. Okay, so Glacier instance is a right one. You are the right. This one is a right one. This one. Instance retrieval. This says immediate access, require immediate access, but it's not available in the answer. Okay, so this one is the right one. You are absolutely right. Instance retrieval as the name suggests. But in answer, it's not available. It's available Glacier flexible retrieval. Now, if I see Glacier, Glacier flexible retrieval, lower cost storage design and data archiving, but it takes few minutes to hours. If you want to retrieve the data, retrieve the object, it takes few minutes. And in question, it says immediate. So it means Glacier, eliminate this one, because Glacier, it is a low cost, but it takes time. Only this one, instance retrieval in Glacier, only one retrieval. It means which one is remaining? This one, infrequent access is remaining. Infrequent access. As I know, like deep archive is also takes 12 hours. Deep archive, as you can see, deep archive, it takes 12 hours for retrieval the data. And flexible, it takes few minutes to hour. Instance retrieval in few minutes, in milliseconds, but it's not available. If it's available, then you are the right. That's the right one. But if it's not available, then we have available only this one. That's fine. But I know higher retrieval price, but we have no choice. So this one is the right one, B. Okay, so these type of question you will get in exam. So now next question is a
So
company.
in terms of cost with the S3, can you go back to them? Would the S3 standard be more expensive than the infrequent access? And then
Correct.
that's more expensive. Actually, they're going in. So Deep Archive is the least expensive. Then S3 Flexible is the next least, and then going up, standard would be the most expensive.
Yeah, correct. Standard one is the most expensive, then infrequent access is the cheapest, and then they are talking about one zone. One zone means, because only difference is when you're copying something, it's automatically copy in three zones. Okay, here same thing. S3 standard and S3 standard IA store data in minimum of three availability zone, but here they are talking about one zone only. Okay, just like compare with the Amazon S3 standard and S3 standard IA, which is store data in the minimum three zones. S3 one zone save data in only one zone, availability zone. That's the reason it's cheaper, more cheaper than compared to standard, and one zone is cheapest. Okay, and Glacier, if you want to store something for a long period, then Glacier. But if you want to like immediate access, suppose same thing, just like in question, they say you need for storage, but you need immediate files, immediate retrieval. If this option is available, that's the right one, Glacier Instance Retrieval. But in answer, it's not available. So that's the reason S3 is a expensive one. But if this is in answer, if this is not cost effective, then S3 standard is fine, and this one is also fine. So, but this is cost effective, as we know, like S3 standard is the most expensive one, and this one is the cheapest. And this one takes few minutes to retrieve the data, and it takes 12 hours. This one is the lowest one, lowest cost, but it takes 12 hours to retrieve the data.
Are B, C, and D all one zone, or
No, B is in 3 zone, A is in 3 zone, and C and D, it's only one zone, and we don't need any zones because it's not for high availability. And why we need high availability in here and here? Because we are continuously is a frequent data. Frequent data means you're accessing anytime, any day, 24 hours access. Definitely you need 3 zones. And Glacier means you are not using the data past 180 days, past 2 months. So definitely you don't need high availability. Make sense?
yes, yeah.
Okay. So now the question is, a company want to set up a secure network connection from on-prem to the AWS cloud within a week. Now that's a tricky question. Within a week, this is. Within a week means, uh, as we know, like AWS Direct Connect is a secure network connection. You can do it with the help of ISPs. Okay, so as we know, like in world, we have normally we have 37 tier of ISP, and we request to the ISP, and without internet, you can connect your on-prem with the AWS cloud. Okay, we have a direct connect, but direct connect takes 1 month. Normally, according to the AWS, it takes 1 month. So second is VPC. VPC means like a network connection, so nothing to do with this question. Edge location, as you know, edge location is for caching your website web contents. Okay, so just eliminate this one, B and D, so two remaining. And direct connect is the right one, secure network connection from on-prem to the AWS cloud within a week. So, and it takes 1 month according to AWS. So this one is fine, AWS side-to-side VPN. If this is a dedicated line without internet, then AWS direct connect. So AWS side-to-side VPN need internet connection. Suppose internet side to side means VPN, you need like 1 GB internet, or if you have 650 Mbps throughput, that's fine, you can use it. But side to side, you can do it quickly. But AWS Direct Connect takes 1 month. Okay. Okay. So next question is, okay, so that's the example of side to side. So this is some suppose you have multiple servers here, lot of servers here. Suppose 1,000 or 100 servers, and this is your not Azure, suppose this is your AWS and this is your VPC, and you want to connect your local on-prem with the cloud. So you need connectivity. Is the AWS Direct Connect is direct connection with the without internet, and it takes 1 month. But side to side means communication between your all servers with cloud, and that's the side to side example. 609 question, what is the customer responsibility according to the AWS share responsibilities? Okay, now they are talking about serverless first. What is the customer responsibility, AWS shared responsibility using AWS Lambda? Lambda. Okay, so just Lambda. What is Lambda is? Basically, Lambda is serverless service, and it is just that like there's no need to worry about. And what is serverless? Serverless is there's no need to worry about managing the server. And if you are the end user, it might as well not existing, because you never have to care about servers. The term serverless in cloud, but there is a server, it is provisioning and maintaining are entirely taken care by the provider like AWS. So if we put like AWS terminology, like you no longer need to create any uh, instance or configure or maintain operating system for your application. That means we really get all the responsibility for managing the servers, underlying servers, and all taken care by AWS. So the server can be scaled up automatically and charged according to your usage. Is called a serverless. Okay, so serverless service have become extremely popular nowadays with with many modern cloud applications. So and there are some advantages of serverless as well. With serverless, there's no instance to manage. You don't need to provision any hardware. There's no management of operating system or software. So the capacity, provisioning, and patching all handled by you like automatically. So it can also be very inexpensive to run serverless service. So you can only charge for what you use and only run when background functions are needed by the serverless application. So serverless scales automatically and elastically automatically. Okay. So it also has built-in high availability. You just deploy the code as a developer and it's automatically scale up as needed. So that's all about serverless. And what is Lambda? So basically Lambda is a serverless service that let you run the code. If you are a developer, you just run the code without provisioning or managing the servers. So unlike every two instance where your application needed to be running continuously, so Lambda allow us to write the function that can be run on demand. So just like a Lambda functions can be triggered by events within or outside the AWS account, or they do not have to keep running. For example, you can write a function to do a file processing task, and it will trigger when data is uploading into the S3 service. So every time a file is uploaded to the S3, you now have a function that can automatically run and process this file. And you can have a Lambda function that pictures values from your databases for your front end application. So there are multiple ways to use your Lambda functions. So now they are saying questions, what is the customer responsibility? Okay, so when using AWS Lambda, so as I already show you, whenever you see the word hardware, infrastructure, data center, physical, that's the responsibility of AWS. Remaining is yours. Now, hardware, it's not our responsibility, not customer. Eliminate this one. Infrastructure is not our responsibility.
See the code and libraries.
The code and libraries, yeah, because you run the code. As a developer, you just run the code, and rest of the things, AWS will manage it. Now, which tasks are the responsibility of AWS according to the AWS shared responsibility? Now they're talking about AWS, not customer. What do you think? Two answers you have to provide. Okay, so whenever you see the word hardware, data, infrastructure, and physical is AWS, and rest of the thing is customer. Now,
So we have to configure the IAM and security groups.
yeah, because as a customer, but they are talking about AWS, not us. So, okay, it's like configure AWS identity. It's a customer responsibility. Eliminate this one. Why? Because they are talking about AWS. Which task
Oh,
responsibility of AWS, not us.
okay.
Okay,
And C,
so
D, and E.
C, D, and they are say two. Choose two. So C, secure the access physical server. That's right. And D, patch application that run on EC2 instance. Okay, so patching the application is my responsibility, customer
Yeah.
responsibility. Why? Because patching is just a patching of Amazon EC2. Is patching
Right.
means just like I am using a phone, just like a Android or Apple, we get some updates. So its updates is my responsibility. I can update it or not. It's my okay. So E, perform infrastructure patching and maintenance. So then C and E is the right one. Now, a company compliance officer want to review the AWS service organization controls, SOC reports, which AWS service and features should the compliance offer. Okay, so if you remember, in AWS security section, we learn about like compliance reports. And I said, whenever you see the compliance report, you need to only think something called AWS artifacts. Which service AWS artifacts, there is no other way to remember it. Okay, so just close your eyes and compliance report, AWS artifact, which is what like option A is talking about. This is a secure self-service portal that provides on-demand access to all compliance report, which also include SOC reports, is allow customers to download these reports from their own review and audit purpose. And you can eliminate these as well, because trusted advisor, as you know, a trusted advisor is used to provide recommendation for optimizing AWS environment in 5 different categories, which we will talk when we get questions related to it. So that does store and distribution complaint report and AWS support. This is a journal support. Then we can help with technical issues and questions, but they won't directly provide the SOC reports. And uh, concrete support, we know concrete support is a premium support plan for enterprise. Just like if they says, okay, who supports concrete support? In exam question, they will say basic, business, enterprise. So then enterprise one, this one. So okay, and support plan for enterprise, this one. So customers, while it might offer assistance with complaint related question, it's not for direct source of like obtaining SOC reports. Any complaints report, go for the artifacts. Okay, whenever you see the compliance or reports, audit reports, confidential reports, then artifacts. Now company has compliance requirements to record and evaluate configuration change. Now they are talking about configuration change. If you remember, we already done this part as well in AWS security. So company has compliance report to record and evaluate configuration change as well. They perform remediation actions on a resource. So now they are talking about, even though it sets compliance, but they are not talking about the reports. If this is report, then AWS artifacts, but they are talking about configuration changes. Whenever you see the configuration changes, there's a particular service that actually records and evaluates configuration changes on a pretty much all the AWS services. And service name uh, is AWS config. Okay, so and secret manager, you need to secret manager, you need to only pick this option when the question asks storing database credentials or accessing keys. Okay, for databases, these are the secrets that are called you can save secrets in the secret manager, automatically rotating the secrets key. Okay, so you will pick secrets. If you want to manage secret, you will use secret manager appropriately. Okay, so uh, and trusted advisor, we just spoke about it. This provide recommendation for optimizing AWS environment. It does not have the same. Some of them, like example, it can check or uh, uh, and they will give you the recommendation. That's like your security group port number. This one, port 80 is open, and it can provide you the recommendation, and it does have the same depth of configuration. Okay, so configuration change tracking or remediation capability is a AWS config that does not remediate. You need to again use, like, maybe you can use event bridges and uh, okay, events from here. So when this check is set, then you can remediate using some of the other thing. But you know config has to, and CloudTrail. So CloudTrail, as the name suggests, CloudTrail. Okay, so they will just audit tracking the record, who log in it, okay, which is your account. Obviously you have to do some based on API calls. Any API calls made into your account is logged or tracked using AWS Trail. Just like real time is a monitoring, which is CloudWatch. And then if you need some tracking of in AWS resources, who logged in, what time, and then CloudTrail for auditing purpose, for tracking. Secret manager for secrets, storing the database's credentials. Then config is the right one. A. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so company plan to perform one-time migration for a large data set with millions of files from on-prem data center to the AWS. Okay, so now what is the answer? Millions of files to the one-time migration, large data set. Okay, on-prem data center to the AWS cloud. Okay. Okay, so eliminate this one first. Migration hub. Let's see. So security hub, network hub, migration hub, when you see the hub associated with something, which means it's just a centralizing different things, too many things in centralized way. Whenever you see the word hub, since what is centralized migration related stuff, so this one is a centralized hub to track the progress of your migration across multiple AWS and partner solution. This doesn't perform the data migration. Okay, so it's have similar to this database, and this is the application migration. This one, they are talking about database. Whenever they talk about the migration of database, then uh, database migration. Okay, so database application migration, not files. They are talking about like this is a primary design for the lifting and shifting the migration of application, not data. So eliminate it. So leave us with the only one option, which is the data sync. Data sync is the name suggests you sync data from on-prem to cloud. This is fully managed service designed specific designed specifically for migrating large data set. Okay, so whenever they talk about like migration to database, then this one is the right one. Whenever they talk about application migration, suppose SQL migration or Postgre migration, then application migration is the right one. And hub is we are basically they are just collection of different. That's a hub, network hub, security hub. Okay, so centralized way. So, but they are not doing migration. This is a tool, data sync. So just remember it. Okay, so which AWS network services or features allow CRDR block notation while providing IP address range? So what is CIDR block? So just like /26 slash via IP addresses, features allow like block notation when providing IP addresses range, C blocks notation, and what does that mean? Did you ever if you remember, like in VPC section, I said in VPC is nothing but the bunch of IP addresses. But how do we mention this IP addresses? You are going to list each IP in every addresses, of course. So you are not going to tell like this range, and then I will pick all the IP's range address from that range. But how do you using like cedar block in the classes? So interim routing method, which is used for represent like range of IP addresses, is a compact format. So just like in security group uh, you can access allow traffic based on the cider block. If you remember, like in security group, you are going to say anything that's come from like you can allow something like just like Mark have some IP, he can access that with the help of security group. I can type his IP instead of mentioning all those 256 IP addresses. You can do something like this.
Yeah,
And
it's like it's helping us to understand where we set our subnets at. And would that be security groups and network access controllers?
yeah, correct. That's correct. Why? And this one is different, and budget is for budgeting and elastic progress. Okay. So this two is the right one. So now, company want to develop an accessibility application that will convert text into audible speech. So in machine learning part in AWS, in last classes we learned this one. What is like Amazon Poly, Neptune, and time stream and these things. So you will get some questions in Amazon Poly and recognition and mm, yeah, two, three questions regarding this. So they are not talking about convert text into audible speech. Okay, and Neptune, Amazon Neptune is nothing to do with a machine learning. So Neptune is a graph databases service. As you know, like in databases, we learned it, Neptune. So for building and running applications, uh, okay, so okay, so running application that work with highly connected data set, and this has nothing to do with the like text to convert text to speech because the graph and time stream again. So time series database. This is a graph databases. In a time series database, there are specific database created for a specific use case, but these are the databases, nothing to do with converting text into audible file. This is also a databases. Itself, messaging, broker service, Apache, ActiveMQ, RabbitMQ. This is used for building messages oriented middleware application not related to text to speech. So machine learning service, we are looking for, it's called a Poly. Okay, and Poly is a service which is used to convert text to speech. You have to just remember it. There's no other thing. You have to just memorize it. And that's the easiest thing is if you want to convert text into audible, then Poly. And whenever in exam question they are talking about like audio to text, then transcribe, Amazon transcribe. Okay, there's some opposite, transcribe and Poly opposite to each other. So whenever they talk about like convert text into audible files, then Amazon Poly. And convert text into speech, advanced learning technologies to like natural sounding human speech, support multiple language, wide variety of, if I open it, the link, as you can see, Amazon Poly, high quality natural sounding human voices in dozen of languages and customized control speech output, speech, and you can find everything here, all thing. Okay, so you will get some questions regarding so Amazon Poly, and if you click here, transcribe is opposite. Automatically convert speech to text, and Poly is text to speech, and transcribe is convert speech to text. So a company need to set up a dedicated network connectivity. As you can see, dedicated network. What do you think? We just learned it. Okay, and it says the network cannot use the public internet without internet.
Oh, direct connect.
Yeah, correct. Direct connect. Yes. Uh, the with public internet, the network cannot use internet. With the help of internet, you can use AWS VPN. With the help of internet, you can use AWS Transit Gateway. Transit Gateway is you cannot connect it network to your data center. Basically, Transit Gateway it's something like you have uh, uh, all VPC. You have suppose you have 50 VPCs, and in on-prem you have a one gateway. As the name suggests, there's a gate. When you go in the building, there's some gate. So in all, there's a one gate in on-prem, and all VPCs connected with Transit Gateway. And VPN is normal VPN. With the help of internet, you can use, and CloudFront is for caching. So Direct Connect is a dedicated network. You can use with the help of ISP. You just talk with the ISP, they will, and you can communicate with your Cisco guys who will work in your company. They will, create a dedicated bridge, flyover. Flyover, if flyover is ready, it means no one is, driving the car, only you are the driving the car. It's a direct dedicated line without internet. If internet goes down, so AWS Direct Connect. Okay. So, and which is very reliable and it is very good. And minimum is 100 Gbps to 100 Gbps. So it's a very, highly, you know, secure and fastest direct connect. So now the company need to use dashboard and charts to analyze insights of business data. Okay, so whenever you see the word insights, first of all, just eliminate Amazon Messi. Amazon Messi is whenever they talk about uh, some secrets or um, then Amazon Messi. Okay, so Amazon Aurora is a database, is a serverless database in Aurora. They support like MySQL and PostgreSQL databases, which is related to SQL. Eliminate this one, eliminate this one. CrowdTrail is for tracking and auditing. So now they are talking about analyze insight from business data. Analyze insights, dashboard and charts of these insights. There's a one service called Amazon QuickSight. So w- might we will get one or two question exam regarding insights, then QuickSight. As the name suggests, sight and sight. Just that's a trick. A company want to migrate on-prem infrastructure to the AWS cloud, and what is the advantages with helping company reduce upfront costs. So now there's a lot of advantages. All are the advantages of cloud, but they are talking about like in the end, if you see company reduce upfront costs. So what is the advantage we can reduce upfront costs? Anyone? Yeah, B increase speed. That's a uh, advantage, but they are talking about which advantage of cloud computing will help the company reduce upfront cost. They're talking about cost. I know speed is fine, agility is a speed, but they're talking about cost, not speed. All are the advantage of cloud and all are right, but they are talking about upfront cost. So go global in a minute. That's just talking about speed. Eliminate this one as well. They're talking about the speed benefit from massive economic of scale. We know this one, but this one is the right one. Trade fixed expense for variable expenses because in on-prem we have a fixed expenses for capital expenses. We have to buy a lot of servers, buy a land for data center, and electricity is a capital expense. It's too huge. But here, upfront costs, we don't have to worry about upfront. A trade fixed expense for variable expense. That's the right one, D. Now six again. Uh, AWS VAR architecture framework. Again, a company is designing workload in the AWS cloud. A company want the workload to perform their intended functions correctly and consistently through the lifecycle. Which pillar of AWS cloud framework? This is the goal. Okay. Again, same thing. If I open the website of this link, I already explain you operational security reliability, and they are talking about consistent. Okay, so if you see, so in this type of question, we have to learn these things like operational pillar, what is comes in the security pillar, what comes in the cost pillar or performance. Okay, so six pillar, we have a six pillar, operational, security, reliability. So now they are talking about consistent. Okay. In operation, they are focusing monitor continuously improving process and procedure. Whenever you see the word continuously improving process and procedure, then operational. Security, whenever they're talking about protection, confidential, this type of word, then security. Reliability focuses on performing the intent function and how to recover quickly from failure. Key recover planning, changing, and performance efficiency pillar focus on structure, streamline allocation, key selecting resource, optimize workload, performance, maintaining efficiency. So, guys, what do you think? Which one is the right one? We have now six pillar.
Performance.
Yeah, correct. Performance one. Yeah, that's fine. So, if you learn these things, so you can easily answer it. So, performance efficiency is the right one. Okay. So now, which AWS service is used to temporarily provide federation security credential to access AWS? Okay. So this question, that's a trick. whenever you see the word temporary provide federation security, you can when you see the word with security credential, remember STS. Okay, so STS simple token service. This is one used to provide temporary security credential, and whenever you use a role behind the scene, like it's create these temporary credential for using STS. So that's another story. But let's come to look at the guard duty. So guard duty, if you remember, like guard duty is I gave you the example of apartment. There has security guard sitting on okay, and they are just watching the some activities. So they are same in AWS or AWS environment. We have some threat detection service. They monitor all the AWS resources, and whenever they see the threat, they detect it. It's like antivirus. Okay, so wrong. Certificate secret manager is for storing the credentials, username and password for databases. Okay, and certificate manager is something like for certificates. Like there are some certificate for security purpose, secret certificates for storing and managing certificates, deploying SSL, TLS certificates. So it's another topic, so nothing to do with security. Whenever you see the temporary security credential, then STS token. Okay, so what is the benefit of using elastic load balancer? Okay, so basically, what is elastic load balancer is load balancing distribute incoming traffic. So you have users, suppose you have a lot of users hit a website, and let's say a website, there's a website, let's say Amazon website users always browse it. There will be a traffic, too much traffic. Then internally you have balanced this traffic. So if you have a one EC2 instance, a one server handling all traffic, of course, is going to break your server or crash your server. So you have a multiple uh, okay servers, they are working behind it, and on top we have a load balancer. They automatically distribute the load. So where the load balancer come into the picture, so these distribute incoming traffic across multiple targets such as EC2 instance, container, IP addresses. This is primary functions. Okay, so this is all about ELB. Suppose YouTube server, and like all guys from the lot of pupils from the world accessing YouTube. So and definitely we don't have only one YouTube server. Definitely we have multiple YouTube servers. On top we have a elastic load balancer, and elastic load balancer automatically distribute the load. If one server get a lot of load, automatically they distribute the load on different server. Okay, so now this is what is the benefit of elastic load balancer? Hmm, can I spam multiple location traffic between multiple internet gateway? Yeah, correct. A is a right one. ELB automatically scale resources to meet capacity need. Okay. Okay. So now okay, so this is the example of elastic load balancer. Suppose you are the user and this is the elastic load balancer, and now you are accessing the server. So now you have two EC2 instance, two servers on back. First of all, they just go, your request go from the elastic load balancer. If this is okay, that's the nearest one, they will get you the like YouTube. Again, another user, they can go from elastic load balancer, and then if too many people accessing this server, automatically they are this request comes to here EC2, this same EC2. This is the elastic load. They distribute traffic across EC2 instance, one or more AZ in a single region. Okay, so six double. Okay, a company need to convert video files and audio files to format data will play on smartphones. Okay, anyone?
Is this transcoder?
Yeah, transcoder. Because poly, you know what is this, and recognition,
It's like
images.
picture, yeah.
Yeah, and then transcoder. That's correct. A company want to securely store RDS database credentials and automatically rotate user password. We already discussed just 5 minutes before. We are just storing the credentials, automatically rotate.
Is this the secrets manager?
Yeah, correct. Secret manager. That's correct one. Okay. Okay, guys. I think one thing I did some mistake here. So, what is the benefit of using Elastic Load Balancer with application running in AWS Cloud? Okay, so we mark this one, and this is the wrong. Why? Because I know that's the confusion between A and B. Why is wrong? A, because this says ELB automatically scales resources. They are not scaling. They just divide. They just uh, workload. If too many requests here, they directly come here. Okay, they just divide the load, not scaling. Okay, so it means this one is a wrong. ELB can manage traffic across multiple compute resources. Make sense? Like elasticity we do in scaling. Yeah, that's the reason. Okay, that's scale. Automatically scale resources. We are not scaling. ELB not scale anything. They just, you know, divide the things. That's the diagram. Okay, so and this one C and okay and secret manager 623. Okay. And comprehend, what is comprehend? Comprehend is a national language processor. It simplify documents processing workflow from extracting text, key phrase, topics, sentiments. So if you remember, like in uh, they, there's some call center, and in call center they record everything. Okay, so they are going to extract the sentiments of customers. They are happy or they are, having some issues, and they just extract the key phrase from like more from documents. And okay, they are not just convert like video to audio files. So transcoder is the right one. And okay, so this is the comprehend and poly, and recognition, and that's the right one. Okay, S3, like for storage, and parameter. Some people are confused with parameter store and secret manager. So parameter is was primary, this one, primary store for storing configuration data, not secrets. Okay, whenever they says uh, um, uh, they are saving the configuration, okay, then pre-parameter store and secret manager for storing username and password. So a company need to have ability to set up infrastructure for a new application in a minute. What advantages will help the customer? Okay, what do you think? What is the advantage of cloud? But not now they are not talking about cost. They are talking about in minutes. This is also confusing, I know. So let me explain it. So in this, trade fixed expenses is wrong. Why? Because they are not talking about cost. Go global in minutes. This one and this one seems like all B, C, and D is right because they are talking about in minutes, and increased speed and agility is also right, and stop guessing capacity is also right. So, but here they are talking about ability to set up infrastructure. You have the ability to set up infrastructure for a new application in a minute. Okay, so that's the advantages because we stop guessing capacity. And what does this mean? This address the issue like of over provisioning or under provisioning resources, because if you have on-prem, you have a workload, and how uh, you will know you decide which server to buy. Let's say you bought a server, but when you don't have that much traffic, you are underutilizing. So it's correct. So but all of a sudden you have a more traffic, but you already bought an like EC2 instance that can only handle initial one. So where there is a less traffic, you over provision. So and you have more traffic, and it cannot handle it under provision. So it can it see like you have to guess it when you buy something. So there's no way, but with cloud you stop guessing. Okay, so you stop guessing in cloud. You stop guessing, you don't have to guess, because let's say you have less traffic, then can you use auto scaling groups and remove EC2 instance if you have it. And if you have more traffic, you can use the auto scaling group ASG to add more capacity. So you don't have to guess. All you have to do is just configure it, can take care of it in cloud. So that's our question. Okay.
Might they
It's-
also say, would they phrase it as either scaling or elasticity?
yeah, elasticity. Yeah, you're right. But I haven't seen this type of question in exam. I see stop guessing capacity. This same statement I can see a lot of time in exams in every year. In every month, like these stop guessing. What is stop guessing capacity? They're using this term, this
Okay.
phrase, stop guessing capacity. Okay,
Okay.
so but you know that's the confusing thing. Like BC and it looks like all are fine, but stop guessing capacity is the right one. Uh, okay, a company need to manage NFS file server. That's a company can be used AWS compute resource. So which is the feature requirement? One is EBS storage gateway, S3 glacier flexible, and EFS. Now you know what is EBS is. So EBS, as the name suggests, is a block storage service. It is for the EBS. We can attach EBS to our EC2 virtual server, EC2 machine. Okay. So they are talking about NFS. And what is NFS? Network file share. Okay. And company need to manage NFS. Does company use AWS cloud resources? Okay. Now, what is storage tape gateway? Remember, like tape gateway, you have to tape if you like, maybe you remember when we were a kid and you know the tapes are for data use for store tapes, cassettes, old tapes, cassettes. So we used to call them and we store audios and videos, and they are stored on the tapes. Then we have a CDs now, and now we have a hard drive and SSDs to save stored the things, all that. Okay, so before in data centers we using tapes for storing the things. Okay, so there's a cassette type thing. So talking about like now they are talking about like file system, not a tape. So that's eliminate this one as well and eliminate EBS as well. Now Glacier flexible retrieval and retrieval, that's the storage class S3, which is a object storage and is used to like for a long term not active like file access, and that's why. And which one is remaining? EFS, elastic file system. Whenever you see the word is elastic file system, the network file system. Okay, so NFS, network file system, is belong with elastic one. If you have shared the same file in across like multiple computers resources. Okay, so anyone know like what is file server is? Anyone know what is file network file server?
What's the file server?
Yeah, file server in companies we are using network file server.
Oh, isn't it EFS?
Yeah, EFS is a right, but what is this? Like anyone know like what is file server? In companies we have a dedicated file server. Why we use it? Anyone know? This is a very important one.
I'm not sure.
Okay, let me show you. Just like suppose. This is one server, this is second server, third server, and fourth server, and this is all users, corporate users. Okay, so what is happening is, suppose there's a one server here, and here this server, and this server, you store everything, important documents, all users. Suppose you have 1,000 user, not thousand, 5,000 users. Okay, and I am going to show you one thing. That's my drive. If I go in this computer, there's an option map network drive. If I click here, map network drive, I click here and the window will be open, drive Z. Okay, so now this is example double slash server. So now I have to provide, like, suppose this server IP is 192.168. Suppose is here IP is 192.168.91. This IP, this server IP is 192.168.1.92. So I'm going to type, let me type it, 192.168.1.92. And what is the folder name is example, share, or any folder name. Okay. And once I click it, finish it, I will get a drive. I will get a drive same as C drive. I get a one drive more here. What will happen is I save everything uh, in my network drive. And what is the benefit of that? The benefit is, suppose my laptop will be stolen next day or my laptop will be broke. I save everything inside the network drive. And network drive, if sometime, my hard drive will be gone next day, or my laptop will be broke, or that's very important file. So it means if my this hard drive is gone, everything will be gone. Okay, and as you know, like disaster recovery, and sometimes very difficult to get all the data back if your hard drive is gone, if your laptop is stolen, or if your any damages happen with your laptop. So where data recovery is difficult. So you can paste everything in the network drive, and all 5,000 users data save here automatically. Why? Because for the network file share, which is called a NFS in on-prem. But in Amazon, they will give you the same service, which is called a EFS, Elastic File System. And what is the benefit of EFS? Again, I'm going to open it. So you have multiple, I have a one machine, I can connect it with the help of this option, connected. Same as me, lot of people, like, just like suppose he's a Mark, Christian, or Yofi, Yaya, all using this drive. And all have, it doesn't mean like I cannot, I can see Mark data, I can see Orifi data, all have some other permissions. I cannot go inside his folder. But all data, I can attach this computer to this drive. This he can attach this drive. It means it's a sharing drive. All users can attach this drive and all data save automatically here. Not automatically. I copy and paste it. Make sense? This is called a NFS in on-prem, and in EFS is a in Amazon we can call as Elastic File System.
Now, would I save that on if on Amazon? Would I set up like a S3 and then make a bucket and then put everything in a bucket, or would
Mhm.
that be something separate?
Yeah, that's a separate. It's not, you cannot share it with someone. EC2 cannot attach with S3. It's a separate thing. Is only yours because you can access with the help of URL. And network share, it's a network drive. All EC2 instance, you can attach the drive in servers. You can attach it. Just like I'm just giving you the example, by the help of this map network drive, I can attach it. This same C drive with the another, just like this one, C drive is attached with the laptop, and D drive is a writer is attached my laptop. But I have no, this example, I have a OneDrive, as you can see, OneDrive. That's a cloud drive, same
Right.
as in NFS is a also you can also think about like cloud drive is the same as NFS or
Hmm.
EFS. Okay, but this one is a only dedicated, it's a cloud drive, but EFS is a network drive. So NFS file server is available in your company's on-site data center. All your data, everything is stored inside your premises. But OneDrive, as you know, is save on cloud. EFS same, Amazon. S3 same outside. Okay. So now another thing is a company plan to migrate AWS cloud. A company want to gather information about on-prem data center. Okay. So now a company want to migrate to the AWS cloud. A company want to gather information what is going on in the on-prem data center. Which of the service should they run to meet the requirement? Okay. So there's a new question. So they need some information for migration related. This is actually like self-explanatory. If you ask me like the service self-explanatory most of the time, database migration, this actually migrate databases. Okay, so database migration is they are talking about database migration, but they are asking the gathered information, not migrating anything. And we are not migrating uh, yet. Like before migrating, you want gather information about what all you are migrating, etc. For that, this is not for the like service AWS storage gateway and storage gateway, virtual storage appliances that bridge on premises and cloud storage. That's the bridge between okay your on-prem storage like file servers and cloud storage. That's the bridge storage gateway. You get some questions regarding storage gateway. What is this? Okay, so imagine there's a gate okay between AWS storage and your on-prem, and you want to access that storage from on-prem, you have to throw this gate, and this is called a storage gateway. This can provide you access from your storage on premises that when you will use storage gateway, not to gather information about on-prem. Okay, so C is a wrong. Now data sync, we learn about it. So this is used for migration on-prem to the AWS. Make sense? In I think in the start we use data sync for migration, large amount of files migration. Okay, so A is the right one. As the name suggests, uh, application discovery. So discovery, you are discovering or gathering information. This is specifically designed to access your on-premises environment and gather details information about your application servers and dependencies. This information is crucial for planning migration to AWS cloud. Okay, guys, so that's the right one. Okay, so this is the easiest one. Which tasks are the responsibility of customers according to the AWS? Now they are talking about customers. Whenever you see the word hardware, virtualization, infrastructure, database, just eliminate it. Okay, D and B. Yes, correct. B and D. Encrypt data and maintaining data because data is customer responsibility. You have to encrypt your data. Okay. And as name suggests, virtualization is not our responsibility, and identity and access management, yeah, is my customer responsibility because IAM, you have to manage yourself like users, passwords, and uh, policies. B and D is the right one. So an online retail company want to migrate on-prem workload to the AWS. The company need to automatically handle seasonal workload increase in cost-effective manner. Okay, seasonal automatically scale up, scale down. As the name suggests, choose to. Just like increase your compute automatically. As I mentioned, we will use auto scaling groups because you can increase it or decrease it your compute power using auto scaling group. This is the one way you do it. But let's go through this one cross region workload deployment first one. So this is whenever you see the cross region, basically uh, in DR cases, like you will choose disaster recovery. When you know something goes wrong in one region, it goes down. Disaster recovery, you will use cross region. One region availability zone is here, second zone. region, which is disaster recovery. Whenever the question says disaster recovery, you will think about like cross region, because disaster is like considered whenever a complete region is goes down. Okay, this one helpful in that case, disaster recovery and high availability, but this does not directly address the issue like seasonal workload fluctuation and built in a audit capabilities. This is important for security and compliance. Okay, so built-in cloud trail. This is for security and compliance, but it does not help with handling workload increase and centralized logins. Centralized login is helpful for monitoring and troubleshooting. It does not address to core issue of scaling resources to handle seasonal demand, or as I mentioned, of course, auto scaling is going to help because this adjusts the number of instances based on predefined metrics such as CPU utilization or incoming traffic. By setting up appropriate scaling policies, companies can ensure that their infrastructure can handle increased demand during peak season without manual intervention. So the second one is pay-as-you-go pricing. So what does mean is this allow the company to only pay for the resources they use. If like 1,000 visitors, then corresponding 1,000, equal to the compute power, and 1,000, 10,000, but you don't provision expecting you will get 10,000 visitors all the time. That is just like a wasting money. So during peak seasonal, uh, then you can utilize more resources according to and pay accordingly. While during off peak time, you can reduce it by cost. So now this is choose two. I think one is the right one, pay as you go. And this is a name suggests auto scaling policies. It means B and D is the right one. Okay. So a developer need to use standard template to create copies of companies AWS architecture and deployment for test and production. Okay. They are saying template. So if you remember, we already learned this part. So provision whatever service that are architecture in different environment. What kind of template? Is a cloud formation template. Okay, whenever they are talking about templates, then the cloud formation we have. In cloud formation, uh, basically cloud formation service that allow you to model and provision AWS resources using a uh, language called a declarative language called a AWS Cloud Formation template. So this means you can define your entire infrastructure as a code, and there's a template. There's a lot of code, just like a VPC, how many VPC, EC2, and there's some coding language, and there's a template, and define your entire infrastructure as a code. And it's also called an infrastructure as a code, IaaS, including EC2 instance, VPC, security groups, and more. By using CloudFormation template, you can create consistent, reproducible environments across development, test, and production. This helps ensure that all environments have the same configuration and reduce the risk of errors. So let's assume you don't know about CloudFormation is. Let's see CloudTrail. And CloudTrail, is a for tracking. So this is not about this one. And CloudFront, which is a content delivery network for distributing content with low latency. So it's not a and CloudMap is something we have not see here. I think about so far. Look, but this is a service which is used for service discovery, helping application to finding the location of the other application instances. Okay, so that's a long topic, but it's nothing to do with this part, and you will not get questions related in this exam, cloud map. And this one, which AWS service can create a private network connection from on-prem to AWS cloud? Now this is private network connection, dedicated network. That's the easiest one. Uh, is a VPC is a service of virtual private computer. You can allow IP addresses. You can define the IP addresses and these things. That's like a virtual net, virtual things. You have to define it. AWS config is configuration changes. Route 53 it is for DNS. So they're talking about private network from on-prem to AWS cloud. So that's the one, direct connect. They're talking about private network connection. So not public. VPC, and if this says VPN, and VPN, as you know, virtual private connection with the help of internet, but this is private network or dedicated network. So then direct connect. Okay, so now next is 630. Okay, so under the AWS which is the following responsibility of customer. Now customer responsibility. Choose one. Anyone? Disk drive before they have leave data center. They are same. The word data center just eliminated because AWS is responsible for data center for gathering packets, collecting traffic. Hypervisor same. Just remove it. Hypervisor. We are not responsible for the hypervisor. Security system provide physical. Now they are talking about data centers again. Eliminated. Patch the guys operating system with the latest security patches. So that C is the right one. Okay, so which AWS service use speech to
Oh,
text?
I can't see it. I don't know if I lost the connection or something.
Okay, Mark, I shared this one. So under the AWS shared responsibilities model, which are who are the responsible?
Question is not showing on the screen. The question is not displaying.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the last two questions, the one you did before that, I don't think we saw.
Oh, okay, oh, okay, okay. This one as well.
Yeah. Um,
Okay, okay, something wrong. I don't know what happened. So that's the one question. 630 and AWS service can create a private network connection that from on-prem to the AWS cloud.
is this the direct connect?
Yeah, direct connect. And next question is, who are the responsible? Customer is the responsibility for. They're talking about customer responsibility. So data center is a responsibility of AWS. We have to just remember one thing. Whenever you see the word these type of questions, just remember hypervisor is AWS responsibility. Physical, hardware, data centers, they all are AWS responsibility. Data centers, hypervisor, data centers, or physical things.
Right.
Yeah, C is the right one with the latest security patches. So now speech to text. I think we already have this question, speech to text. Yeah, A is the right
Um,
one. Yeah.
no. A is text to speech. Speech to text, I think is
Oh, okay, okay,
transcribe.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, you are right. Yeah. Amazon Poly is you can convert articles to speech, and text to speech is opposite. To opposite is transcribe. Yeah, and transcribe speech to text is a transcribe. This one, D, correct. And text, what is TextRack? Anyone know? TextRack is Amazon TextRack is a machine learning service that automatically extract text, handwritings, layouts, elements, and data from scanned documents. Okay, so let me show you. And Amazon recognition, and you will get a lot of questions from here. Recognition. So poly recognition, I see a lot of question in exam, real exam, like poly and recognition. Two things, two are very important, like poly and this one. And only few from here and here. Okay, so what is this text stack is? Let me open it and show you. Okay, automatically extract printed text, handwriting, layout elements from data from any documents. So this is a video. I don't have a time, otherwise I play it. So there's a lot of documents, scanned documents. You can extract. They can extract the the data and find some words in Amazon text extract. And next is we have, and you will get a lot of questions. Might be from here. This service called recognition. So, images, whenever you see the word images, videos with machine learning, then this one. So, these type of question, like face liveness or, uh, face detection, they will detect it. She's a female and eyes are open, 100% happy, smiling. So these type of things like, okay. So custom label, they find text detection from the he's wearing the shirt, 5022, as you can see, outdoor and these type of things. So video segments, celebrity recognition. Okay, so that's the important one. I see many questions regarding images and videos. That's
Can
the
it be
one.
used to differentiate between deep fakes, like an AI created video versus something more that's real?
Yeah, basically it's a machine learning. It's all about it's a AI. So you can use that service and you can upload images and you can use it just like um, I have a video like they can recognize it. His age is 20 or 30 and all the things. His height is 6 feet or how tall he is or different type of things is available here. If you check it, thousand of images and videos free. Okay, as you can see, artificial intelligence with AI. Make sense, Mark?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Which AWS service or tool provide users with a graphical interface and they can use manage AWS services? Oh, it's a simple one because graphical interface. What I have is uh, graphical interface. We have some tools. CLI. It's not a graphical interface. It's a CLI like a command prompt. Just like if I open it and if I type CMD and if I type like AWS logins here and with the help of key with the help of AWS key, I can log in with AWS. So, but it's not a GUI, graphical user interface. So AWS Management Console is a graphical interface. Okay. And Copilot is different, and this one is for development kit. This is for programming. Okay. Now, this question. A company has a workload that will run continuously for a 1 year. The workload cannot tolerate service interruption. Now again, this is cost effective. Okay, guys, so one thing you have to remember, if they are talking about more than 1 year or more than 1 year, so then reserve instances, I'm just going to recap this thing. We already learned it. For 1 month or for few months, we have on demand is good choice. Or if you need cheapest we have a spot instances, as you know, like 70% discount, 90% discount, spot instances. But what happen is spot instance, we can tolerate interruption. There are some interruption in spot instance. But here they says cannot tolerate interruption. It means SLA is very good. We don't need any interruption, but we can continuously run for more than a year, continuously for 1 year. What do you think now? Okay, so start from there. On demand. So whenever you want to use some by instance for months, for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and you cannot work cannot tolerate service interruption, then on demand. Okay, dedicated instance. Dedicated means a whole server. You can buy whole server, which is very expensive. Okay, whole server. Now they're talking about most cost effective. This one gone, this one gone. Now two remaining. And whenever you see the word uh, 1 year or 3 years, then reserve instance come into the picture. And now both are reserved, but partial upfront and then all upfront. Okay, so all upfront means you can pay whatever you pay. You will, if you pay a good amount, then you will get a good discount. If you pay partially, then you will get a small discount in AWS. Okay, so if you pay all upfront, so it means you will get a great discount. So that's one is a cost effective. And dedicated instance, uh, dedicated, because dedicated instance are those they actually, for example, remember like previous I gave, suppose in virtual machines we have a host operating system, which is my laptop, and I have 16 GB RAM, and I have a Ubuntu machine. I provide 2 GB RAM to Ubuntu. I create another virtual server, which is Windows Server 2019. I provide 2 GB or 6 GB, and they shared my resources, my laptop resources. It means it's not dedicated. So, and dedicated means it's expensive. Okay, so very expensive one. This one expensive, most expensive, than on demand, then this one, partial one, all in front. Okay, make sense?
What would be the time frame for
Mark, I can't hear you. There's something wrong in your voice, I think, or I think my internet. Anyone
less
notice?
than like 6 months?
It's on his side.
Okay, so audio free, so my side is fine.
Yeah, your side is fine. Yes.
Okay, so Mark, your internet connection, I think, is something wrong. I cannot hear you. Okay, is something wrong with the Mark? So, so Krishna, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, so Mark left it, so it means something wrong. Okay, so now 6:30. Okay, now next question is, a company migrated its system to the AWS cloud. The system are right size, and a security review did not reveal any issues. The company must ensure the additional development, integration change, user growth, and optimize AWS infrastructure. Okay, so what do you think is? Hi, Mark. So,
Yeah, I lost the signal for some
okay,
initial.
so you were saying something?
I was just asking what would be the time frame for dedicated instances? Would that be less than 6 months or so?
Yeah, it's all up to you. Say less than 6 months or 1 day or 1 year, 2 years is all up to you.
Okay.
All is all yours. If doesn't matter, reserve, instance, on demand, spot. So you can use for 1 month or for 1 year. But it's recommended if you're using the instance for 1 year or more than 1 year,
Yeah,
then
one
reserve
to three
instance is
years.
the cheapest. Cheapest.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay.
Because this is most cost effective.
Yeah. Okay.
And dedicated, they give you whole server hardware.
Right.
Okay, so and it's very expensive, dedicated one. On demand is also expensive, but this is a good choice for few months, just like 1 month, 2 months, or for some hours. So then it's good. But if you say like one on demand, I can use it for 1 year. That's fine. You can use it, but they will cost you more. So if you use for more than 1 year, then go for reserve. Okay. So now the question is, a company migrated its system to the AWS cloud. The system are right size and a security review. Now they are talking about like security review. Did not reveal an issue and additional deployment, integrate changes, user growth, AWS infrastructure. So they are saying report ongoing optimization and security. S- Okay. They're talking about like security. Okay, security. Uh, um, So let's assume we don't know the answer. So let's eliminate the health dashboard first. So health dashboards provide information about the status of AWS services in general. Like for example, S3, like or some services provide like status, like S3 service status is fine or not, it is up or down, or the particular region, like East US region is okay or not. So health is, they will give you the health, okay, health status. It will tell you while it's useful for monitoring service health, so it doesn't provide recommendation for optimizing or security, which is what we are looking for report ongoing on Amazon Connect. So Amazon Connect, it might sound like a direct connect, but has no link whatsoever. So this is a cloud-based contact center. Is a sense it's like a call center in cloud. So this is not relevant to the infrastructure optimization and security. Then we have a system manager. So it's a collection of tools. System manager is a collection of tools for managing its systems at scales, while it's include features for configuration management, patch management, but it doesn't provide the same level of comprehensive optimization. So which one is remaining? Trusted advisor is remaining. So trusted advisor, remember, like I said, advisor give you the recommendation, boss best, on best practice. Okay, so trusted advisor is the right one. Now encrypt data. So AWS, which other AWS service to provide ability to encrypt data at the rest? Whenever you see the word encrypt data, as you know, like security hub is a hub for security. They just manage all the things. So they're not, encrypt data. No, IAM, you can create users here, groups here, create policies. C will be gone. Okay. And AWS Certificate Manager, ACM, it is for, certificate manager for TLS, SSL certificates. No. KMS. So KMS is for the, encryption service for, encrypt your data. So this is very important if you go towards AWS specialty or security exam. So that's a very long. If you go towards uh, cybersecurity, then you have to know this thing, KMS, key management. They encrypt your data for hacker. For if someone, if you get a job in cybersecurity, so then you have a lot of work on KMS for encrypted data, because in every company, encrypting the data is very important. AWS KMS, key management service. Control the cryptographic keys and protect your data. Okay, so the KMS is for protecting the data. So they're talking about ability to encrypt data and the rest. So KMS. Okay, guys. So now it's 7 o'clock. So let's call it a day, and we can meet tomorrow. What do you think? Tomorrow is fine. 5 o'clock, same time.
Yes, that sounds good with me.
Okay. Mark, I know you're
Well,
free.
I thought we were doing Monday and Wednesday. So,
Okay.
I mean, okay, we can meet tomorrow. That'd be fine.
Tomorrow, fine. And Mark?
That was me.
Yeah. Tomorrow is okay. You are
Okay.
okay with tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Tomorrow is fine.
Oriofi. Okay, Oriofi. Tomorrow same time, 5 o'clock. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.